Hello. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you to this year's annual general meeting of PIP-UK Poland Syndrome Support Charity. We're so glad that you are here today or watching this video later, and we'd like to thank you for all of the support that you've given us over the past year. And what a fantastic year it has been. Under our founder and CEO's leadership, Sam, many of you know, I'm sure, we have had a tremendous year of growth and support, and just our small charity has just grown by leaps and bounds, and it's been so exciting to watch and see happen. So before our meeting today, I just wanted to share with you some of the fantastic numbers that we were able to reach this year. As many of you know, we launched the first patient register just mere days ago, which is super exciting, and I know a lot of you are already signing up for that, and we'll talk about that more in our meeting today. But I wanted to share with you some of the other great things that Sam, with the help of many of you and wonderful volunteers, has done this year. So here are some of the numbers. 1 UK Poland Syndrome Clinic. 4 ambassadors recruited to help spread awareness. 8 events that connected our community. 27 people attended our first family weekend. 30 people were supported with one-to-one support and help with direct appeals to the NHS for treatment. 160, that's the number our membership grew to this year. 200 plus phone calls and emails answered for one-to-one support. 616 Instagram followers. 1,096 Facebook likes. 1,181 Facebook followers, 2,000 plus hours spent directly helping and supporting our community, £20,000 in grant money received, 59,519 people saw our Facebook post, that was the reach, 1 million plus laughs at one of our 8 community events and family weekends, although that last number might be a slight exaggeration. So what a wonderful year we have had. So thank you again for your part in it, and a huge, gigantic thank you to Sam and all of her hard work. And I can't wait to see where the next year takes us and the years to come. We will just continue to grow and make sure that no one is alone with their Poland syndrome or their diagnosis or their treatment path. So enjoy the rest of the annual general meeting, and again, thank you very much for watching. Bye.
Okay, we shall make a start then. So our AGMs might be slightly different from ones you've experienced previously, and we don't have a constitution that means we have to make votes and things during our AGM, so we just like to focus on what we've done and where we're going, so we can set ourselves up nicely for the year and get everyone's input into what we think you will want to do from what we've gathered through the year, and just make sure that we're on track with what you as volunteers and members want from us as an organisation. So I will take us through that now with our vision and mission. I'm going to get my slides working. There we go. So there's just a quick agenda. We won't have the Treasurer's report because Victoria's unfortunately can't make it this morning, but we can share that after anyway, and we'll have all the other parts in there. So let's get started. I thought it was really important to just share with you the rest of our team, just in case you're not aware of them. And obviously they've grown a bit this year with the ambassadors as well. So these are all our wonderful trustees who keep me in check and govern and direct the organisation as well, and offer massive support and help throughout the year to keep all these wonderful things that we've been doing going. So Angel's our chair, Liz is our secretary, Victoria our treasurer, who unfortunately can't be here today, Robbie, who also is working and can't be here today, Shirley who's here, and Sue can't make it today either. But that is our wonderful board of trustees. They've been behind the scenes helping out all year. Obviously you know me, and then of course this year we have our ambassadors to add into the mix there as well. So Richard, Becca, Kim and Lewis have been helping out with lots of bits and bats throughout the year, lots of which you would have seen. So earlier in the year Richard hosted comedy shows for us and raised money for us through those. They've all helped out with the register videos and just generally sharing everything that we do throughout the year to help us reach more people. Kim's done some medical conferences for us. There's some coming up this year as well, hopefully. Becca has just been absolutely instrumental in most of everything that we've done this year. It's been absolutely amazing, such a big help with the register and the wellbeing programme as well, to just really become an invaluable part of what we do. Which is amazing. And Lewis, of course, with the wellbeing programme as well, has been helping us out with that throughout the year. So that's our team. I didn't quite know how to show the rest of the team of the volunteers and supporters and everyone else that has just helped make everything happen this year. But thank you to everyone else that is a big part of the broader team. Okay, so starting out on just a synopsis of the vision for the organisation, and it's sort of changed and become more focused since last year because of where we've got with the register and everything. So I think it's really important that we aim for the stars with this and we become the centre of expertise for Poland syndrome research, for the wellbeing and the support services, so that we can keep people connected. Those three pillars are so important, and we're doing quite well with them already, so there's no reason why we can't become that centre of expertise for the world. And to achieve that vision, the mission that we need to aim upon is to advocate for that earlier consistent diagnosis and treatment paths for everyone with Poland syndrome, no matter what age you are, no matter where you are on that path. And then to keep building the awareness for Poland syndrome and providing support to the community. So we've got a number of goals along the way to help us achieve that vision and mission. Just to talk a little bit more about the vision. Yeah, I mean, obviously Italy are a real centre of expertise for Poland syndrome at the moment. And they have a very difficult setup with their clinical settings and the links that they have to hospital, which is absolutely amazing. And we've always wanted to emulate that, and we would love to become a centre of expertise like them, so we can generate lots of research and pioneer these wellbeing programs that so far are working out really well and really helping the people that have been able to take part. And the same with the support services and connection. We would really like to grow them so we become the experts at it. And that's just a little bit more about our mission. So to base some reality on some of the things that we want to do and need to do, we do need to put it in the real world just to begin with, just a little bit. I like to dream big, but I do have to have a little bit of real world in there. So there are some factors shaping what we do next. Primarily is funding. It's really hard out there at the moment for charities to get funding. We've got funding for some of the things we're doing for the next couple of months, and we'll always have funding to keep the lights on, but some of the long-term things we've got planned and hope to do aren't funded yet, so that's always going to be difficult. As we grow, resources and funding obviously so closely connected. We do only have me as one member of staff, and as things grow and get bigger, that's just not sustainable either. And that, adds into the funding picture that we've got too. And then, we're not alone in that grants are difficult to get hold of at the moment. COVID-19 has completely changed the way grants are provided, how charities are selected for grants. And at the tail end of last year, a lot of the bigger grant providers are just focusing on local initiatives as opposed to national charities in response to COVID-19, and at the exclusion of national kind of initiatives. So that's a really difficult place to be in right now, but it can change very quickly, that grant landscape as well. And I am working with some of the bigger umbrella organisations like Genetic Alliance and Find a Cure to help improve that picture overall, because all their charities that are linked to those organisations are having the same kind of issues. Okay. So in terms of our short-term goals of how we go about achieving this vision and mission that we're setting out for ourselves, obviously the first main key one is to secure that funding to continue the momentum that we've built, the progress that we've made throughout 2021, and to keep funding our vital services that we provide for people. We also want to sign up 100 people to the register. That's our initial goal. We're halfway there at this point, so that's amazing. And I think by hopefully next week we might have smashed that and we can make a bigger goal. But it's really unpredictable and hard to know what's going to happen with the register. So I'm really just going for that first 100 because that's really scientifically significant to get 100 people. So when we get there, it's a real achievement. And then obviously factored into that is once we have enough people in the register, we want to be able to generate that scientific activity. So the research papers, the publications, the clinical trials perhaps in the future, anything like that, just generating new engaged scientists into Poland syndrome and what they can do to help the treatment and diagnosis of it. And fourth on there is just to sort of grow and embed the wellbeing and support services. You'll know that we piloted the programme for young people earlier this year for wellbeing, and we only had a small pot of money to do that, and the outcomes from that and the feedback from that is really good. So obviously we want to open that up to more people of all ages, and so we would love to find a way to sort of make that cheaper to deliver so we can keep delivering it over and over to more people. So we want to work on that this year. So more short-term goals, to start and pilot the women's circles as part of the wellbeing programme. So the money we got from Lottery for Wellbeing included the young people's programme, the women's circle, and then some support packages as well. So we're hoping to start and pilot those pretty soon, within the next month or so. And the same with the support packages, probably a little later in the year, but they're hopefully a way that we can build up our volunteer resources so we can support more people sustainably over time. We have to put on there to update the website and the SEO, so we really need to keep all of that current and make sure as many people can find us as need to. We've not spent money on the website for a couple of years now, and it very quickly outdates itself. And also we never had the funding to make it a sort of a big enough website to manage all the things that we're doing right now as well. So the more services that we offer, the more drop downs and things you need, and it's kind of getting a bit hectic on there. So it does need a bit of updating and some funding applied to it. And then of course our short-term goals are to provide family support at the Poland syndrome clinics throughout the year. So there's 4 of those planned in for this year. You'll see a bit more of those on the roadmap as to when they are. And our aim is that one of our team of volunteers will be at one of those clinics each time. So the families are supported from PIP-UK. They can connect with each other there. We can get them signed up to the register and make sure that they know about our events and meeting other people and everything along the way. So those are the key short-term goals. We have some long-term ones as well. So these long-term goals are where I like to just dream big, because it's really important that we do that. And when we've done that in the past, the things that we think are really long-term come sooner, because we're reaching for the stars here, and we absolutely should always do that. So we've got the children's clinic in place this year, which we never envisaged would happen so soon, which is amazing. But I think it's so important that we get a specialised adult clinic as well. And I think getting the children's one off the ground will make that happen a lot sooner. But we're a way to go for getting the clinic expanded out to adults. So I'll be working on championing that as a long-term goal with all the medics that I work with. Obviously, I've touched on it a little already. We want to produce medical papers as time goes on, looking at the information that's already within the register and possibly some additional surveys as well that we've not got data on currently. Two of the key things that keep coming up with everyone that I talk to about the aging effects of Poland syndrome, so what happens later in life. I think it's really important that we start looking into that more so we know more and we can help more with that. And then also surgical outcomes. There's so many different surgeries happening with very varied outcomes, and we just don't really have enough information to be able to share with people who are looking into those options and let them have all that knowledge up front. And it would be really good to get some data on that and produce some medical papers about those, so doctors are informed and that our community is informed when they come to make those decisions as well. So the next one on there is about defining the path to treatment and diagnosis and get it adopted by NICE, which are the people that set the guidelines for the NHS. So the surgeons in Birmingham have started to define a path to treatment and diagnosis. I've got a big piece of paper from them from Birmingham that I've still got to write up where they've begun to think about it. So we're closer to that than we've ever been. So I will draft that with them and continue working on that with them, and then work through how to get that adopted by NICE as well once it's proven and tested and things along the way. So maybe not as long off as we think, that kind of thing. Next on there, funded peer support and events where we can connect at regular interviews. Yeah, I mean, peer support is so important to be able to put people in touch with others of same age and similar experience with their Poland syndrome is really, really important. We do that absolutely wherever we can. I think because we've not got like massive volunteer resources for that kind of support at the moment, it's a bit patchy and not as good as it needs to be. And also events, obviously they're quite expensive to put on the events, and they're so important that we can connect regularly, and it would be lovely to make sure that they're funded each year too. Excuse me. And on there as well, just about expanding the services, which I've touched on a bit already, to include more information and surgeries, etc. I think there's lots we can do there. The package that we've got with the current register is that we can't expand any surveys without paying extra now, so everything else that comes to it will be like a funded piece of work. So I think there's lots we can do there though. Other long-term goals, which would be really great, I would love for us to be able to set up an international medical conference once we've got some medical papers and some more data to be able to link up with Italy and doctors in other countries that are doing great things with Poland syndrome to come together and share that information with the community at the heart of it as well, because I think it's really important to, yes, share the medical knowledge, but also share that lived experience. So it would be a community event as well for those people that wanted to take part in that kind of thing. That would be amazing to do. We touched on this briefly last year about sort of branching out in America, and I've added in Australia this year, and that's purely based on we've got lots of members in these countries. There's obviously lots of people in these countries and no current Poland syndrome charities out there as well, and obviously branching out there would help with our data numbers and possibly our resources as well, so it's always worth having that on the back burner and considering that as a long-term goal. Young Leaders Programme, that was on the sort of long-term goals last year. Again, I think that's really crucial to the future of the organisation and the charity. And I feel like we're somewhat closer to being able to do that this year, because with having the wellbeing programme for young people, we have been able to reach out to young people in a way that we've not done before. And they are getting a lot more involved in the organisation as well. I think the ambassadors have helped with that too. So although we've got no funding for it, but we're closer to being able to do something for that, which is amazing. And the other one on there then is just around dedicated family support resources. So at the moment we offer family support resources. We do absolutely everything we can, but there's no dedicated like role spending 100% of their time on that. So it would be really wonderful if at some point we can expand our resources to have some dedicated support for everyone at every time they need it. And then another key long-term goal is just education and awareness sessions for maternity, surgery, genetics professionals, or medical professionals really. But I think those are the key ones to start on. We do get some opportunities throughout the year. We did a maternity session earlier last year, but it would be great to have a whole programme of that where we could take it around the country. And make sure we really sort of get in there. Perhaps GPs should be added into that list as well, actually, because they'd be one of the first sources that people go into. I shall make sure I add that on later. Okay, that was a lot in very quick time. Is there any questions or anything before I move on?
You've put Sam about the education. Would it be, because there's a lot of like university hospitals around, aren't there? Would it be better to like target them first, where they do teaching?
Yeah, absolutely, and catch the students. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that, Trudy. Thank you.
Hi Sam.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. How you been?
Good, thank you. You made it in?
Yeah, I was struggling to get in for the passcode, but my mum was helping me.
All right, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Just walking through now the events for this year and what we've got coming up in 2022.
Oh, so, that's good.
Yeah, all right, and we can have a proper chat at the end, Daniel.
Thank you.
All right. So through January is pretty busy. Obviously, we've launched the register. When we get to the end of this and Angel's caught up, I will show you the initial dashboard of the register so I can talk you through that. So it's been really busy this week. We did what's called a soft launch. So I just launched it amongst our members and a little bit on social media. Just to make sure that we could work through all the technical glitches so that I could make sure that I was ready to support people who got stuck anywhere, and I could manage that as well within all the other work. That's gone well this week. It's definitely not been without glitches. There's been a fair few and people have got stuck at various points, but on the whole, you know, it's gone pretty well, I would say. It's not perfect. There's things that need to be improved, but you know, we've got 52 people registered as of this morning. So I'm really pleased, and I'm so thankful to everyone that has persisted and stuck with it, especially on the first couple of days when a few things were going wrong. But it's amazing to see the engagement that's come through already on that. And I talked to Pulse Info Frame last night and they're absolutely amazed how many we've got in the first couple of days. So a massive thank you to everyone that's taken part in that. And January as well, plan and launch the women's circles that I touched on. So we've got a practitioner who's going to do those for us. So I just need to work through with her the dates and availabilities for that. So there should be something coming out pretty soon on that. This month, I also want to work on recruiting our scientific advisory board. So that's quite crucial to generating the scientific activity we've talked about. I have one surgeon already agreed to go on it, a hand surgeon based in Liverpool, Pundrik Sharma. He was writing a book on Poland syndrome surgery and got in touch. So I talked him to being part of our scientific advisory board. So I just need to reach out to some more medics and scientists now and build that up a little more and plan the first meeting and everything for that, so we can start showing them what data we've got and start getting them interested in generating that scientific activity. I'm also concentrating on recruiting organising committee for an event on the 30th of April. I'll tell you a bit more about that event as we go on. But anyone who's interested in volunteering for that organising committee, it would be greatly appreciated. February is pretty busy as well. There's another clinic at Birmingham in February, so that's exciting. We've got Rare Disease Day in February as well, which is a big sort of online social media event. There is some information about like lighting up buildings and things like that, which I would love to do if I get a chance to, but I'm not sure. It's coming up close now, February. And we've also got a virtual booth at the Find a Cure showcase. So Find a Cure is a rare disease umbrella organisation, and anyone can attend that event as well. It's free for you know, patients and people with a rare condition. So you're most welcome to come along. It's a really good event. It's attended by all the rare disease organisations, scientists, medics. So for the first time, we've got a booth there, so we'll be creating a poster probably related to the register and the data we've got so far, so we can showcase that a little bit. So that will be good. And then in March, quieter on the big stuff, but we're going to put in one of the lovely PS Cuppa and chat sessions, so the informal sessions that we started doing this year. We'll make sure we get one of those in there. We will try and do them most months, but it just depends on resources and availability. I find weekends really difficult, so we might have to get a rota or something going for that. So we'll see how it goes. April's exciting because it's Poland Syndrome Awareness Day on the 30th, so save the date, and I've got another slide to tell you a bit more about what we're beginning to plan for that. But this year we want to make it bigger and better than ever, make it a global event. We're going to have an online raffle, we're going to have some face-to-face events and encourage other people to have face-to-face events as well. COVID permitting, I don't like saying that, but there you go, COVID permitting. May, there's another clinic in Birmingham and another cuppa and chat session, and same for June. So that just gives you some idea of the first half of the year. And then going into the second half of the year. So in July, Robbie, our trustee, Robbie Woods, him and his workmates are going to be doing the Tough Mudder in Dumfries on the 2nd of July. And we're going to go along as well. I don't know if we're going to take part. I'm going to have a look at it first before I commit to taking part, but we'll definitely be there. And they're looking for people to join their team as well. So if you want to take on a challenge for 2022, Tough Mud is an interesting one. And obviously they'll be raising money for PIP-UK as part of that as well. So it's quite exciting to look forward to in July. And then through to September, there's another clinic. October, hopefully our AGM, that's when we should really have it, but it depends how busy things get. And through to December with the clinic in Birmingham. So you'll notice missing from August is our usual annual event. We've just not been able to plan it this year because of funding. So we're kind of at the point where it's a little late to start planning it now as well, but hopefully we're back in 2023 with our big summer event. Okay, so Poland Syndrome Awareness Day. So I touched on it a little. So we're just at the beginnings of planning it. We really want to make a big splash with it this year in terms of fundraising and awareness. It grows each year, the amount of people that we reach and get to know about Poland Syndrome on that day online. But we would really like to do a lot more in person this year. You okay? Sorry, I'm just on a call down. Sorry about that. So we've booked a community centre in Manchester to have a face-to-face event there. We had Natalie O'Brien, a parent of someone with Poland Syndrome, got in touch with us and donated £500 towards a face-to-face event. So we're going ahead and planning that. So at the community centre, we're going to have a computer gaming truck for the kids. So the kids have been asking us for a computer gaming kind of event for quite a while. So we're going to put that in there for them. So that'll just be a couple of hours for the kids to book in and do some gaming. We're also going to have probably like face paints and pottery and just you know, coffee and cake kind of thing. We want to make it into kind of like a Macmillan coffee morning type event, but for Poland Syndrome. That's kind of the aim with what we want to do with Poland Syndrome Awareness Day this year. And obviously this event that we're planning is based in Manchester, and not everyone's near Manchester, we know that. So what we want to do is encourage everyone to host an event wherever they are, whether that just be at home with the family or whether they want to go out to a local park and encourage their friends, or a community centre. And we're thinking of branding it like a Poland Syndrome picnic kind of idea. that's the idea anyway. And obviously when the organising committee gets together, be able to work that through and come up with some posters and things like that for people. But yeah, given how much we need fundraising, we thought that would be a good focus, to be like a big fundraising event that could be like national and global as well. So that is what we're thinking for Poland Syndrome Awareness Day. What do you think? Any thoughts or ideas around that one in particular?
Can I just ask you, Sam? You said you've got the community centre in Manchester, but on the slide it says Stockport. So is it Manchester?
Stockport is in Manchester.
No, I know that.
So no, it's in Stockport. It's at the Rose Walker Centre in Stockport.
So that's where the event's being held?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
That's all right. No worries. So yeah, Stockport's just outside Manchester. It's just off the motorway in Manchester. The community centre is a good venue because it's got a park off it. It's got a car park, so it's quite a good little venue.
Where is that?
Sorry, what was that?
Where is that based, please?
So Stockport, near Manchester.
Oh, that is fine.
Yeah, but we're saying if you can't get there, because obviously it's not everyone's near there, then to host an event at home, and you know, do do something at home or in your local community instead. So you get to celebrate it, and hopefully there'll be like a little fundraising pack or something that we'll send out as well. But we just need to do a bit more work on it to get it ready.
And we were thinking, like, if with a picnic theme, if you just have a picnic in your living room or in your back garden or in your community center, and then take pictures of all these Poland Syndrome picnics going on all over the place. So it doesn't have to be like a big event that you're having. And maybe the organizing committee can come up with like a design that we can sell on t-shirts or keychains or something that say like Poland Syndrome picnic, you know, something like that, that you can invite people who don't have Poland Syndrome to also come around and celebrate the day and hear about Poland Syndrome, or just have a picnic kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's what we're thinking. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Angel. Thanks, everyone. Okay, the other save the date, we touched on it already, that Tough Mudder, Dumfries in July. So it's not just for adults, the Tough Mudder, they have a mini Tough Mudder, so the kids could come and do it if you don't want to do it. Or, you know, do come along and do it yourself if you would like. I'm definitely going to take a look. I'm intrigued, scared, but intrigued. So, and me and my family will definitely be there on the day, cheering everyone on, if nothing else. So I'm not quite sure whether like you sign up individually or you've got to sign up into Robbie's team. I'm going to find out those details and share them with you as soon as I've got them. But if you're interested, let me know and I'll let you have those details as soon as possible. It's in Dumfries, which is obviously Scotland. So again, it's not near everyone, not particularly near me, but a part of the world that I love. So I definitely want to go and have a day or two there around that event.
Is that like an assault course, Sam?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. A very muddy assault course. Is the general gist of it.
That sounds fun.
Do you like the sound of that, Daniel?
Yeah, sounds cool.
It does sound like good fun, doesn't it? It does. I just want to check how high the things you have to climb are, because I'm only 5'2". That's scary.
5'9".
So we shall see. We should maybe talk to Faraz and some of the bodybuilders and stuff, some of the people that are really into fitness. They might be up for getting a team there.
That's smart. Do that. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, we're near the end of these slides now. So we've touched on it really already, but I just wanted to put a call to action of we really need organisers for this PS Awareness Day so we can make it the best it's ever been. And we really need fundraisers as well, just in general. I know we put out quite a bit of social media and stuff on this, but now more than ever to keep doing these things that we're doing and to expand on what we're doing. If you want to take do a cake sale, a book sale, a sponsored walk, bike ride, bingo event, pamper evening, coffee morning, anything like that. We've got a Just Giving site that you can set yourself a page up on. We've got sponsorship forms, all the collaterals in a fundraising pack on the website, or if you just want to talk to me about it and I can share it with you and talk it through. We really need the community to start helping us out with the fundraising now more than ever.
Can I just add
to push the like the Smile Amazon and the Easy fundraising a bit more?
Yeah.
Can I add that at the beginning of PIP, that Sam and I did hold book sales and cake sales. We got in touch with our local council and they let us have a stall at the front of the shopping centre for free. And we asked our friends and neighbours for donations for books. And I think we made about £500 or something in that region. It really was quite successful, and we did it a couple of times. And it's a lot easier than you think it is. So it's just one idea that people could use to fundraise. It's simple enough. And there's no cash outlay, really. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a good point. Yeah, most councils will offer you a free stall for things like that. I believe the stall was free, wasn't it? And yeah, we were overwhelmed with books from friends and family, and we had to go back for several years in a row, I think, to finally sell all the books that we had.
Well, I've actually still got a load in the cupboard, so
well, there we go. Yeah, once you ask for books, you know what it's like with people. You end up with a lot, but yeah, amazingly lucrative. And yeah, that was the start of PIP and how we funded the first website and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah, but can I just ask a quick question then while we're on the subject of those books? I have got, somebody gave me a collection of American children's books. There's quite a few of them, and they've got absolutely gorgeous illustrations in them. And I didn't put them up for sale on those occasions because we were selling books for sort of 50p, and I think they're worth a lot more. Does anybody know anybody who would be able to give me a valuation on these books? Because I think they're quite valuable. So is there anybody in the group that knows anything about books, or knows anybody who knows something about books?
There's a website.
I was about to say the same thing.
Go on, you say.
What's the website, please?
I forgot what it's called now. Try and look it up.
Not to worry. If you do think of it, just let Sam know and she'll pass it on to me. Thanks for that.
I know there's people even, because I've recently gone on to Vinted, and there's a lot of people on there that are doing for charity and selling stuff.
Maybe
right.
eBay or Amazon.
Okay, thanks. I'll take a look at those. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. So yeah, get in touch if you want any help with any kind of fundraisers or information for those fundraisers. And that was all from me on slides. So thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts on like the vision, the mission, the goals, because I really would like your input. I talk to a lot of you all the time, so I like to think that I've taken it on board and incorporated it, but I'd really like to know if you think I have and we're on the right track or we're missing anything. I'll stop sharing now so we can have a chat.
Can I just ask Sam, when you go like on Facebook or whatever, there's like 6 Poland syndrome like groups now. Why are we not all? I can understand like the women's one separate because they want to talk about stuff, but why are there so many groups? Can we not just collate into like smaller 1 or 2 groups?
It would make sense, wouldn't it? It would.
Yeah, make life easier.
Yeah, I know. There's I guess there's a lot of like historical context as to why those other groups are there, which is, you know, at one time the Poland Syndrome Support Group and I were going to merge it all together, and then that just kind of didn't happen, and we've not been able to sort of come back and talk about it for a good number of years. But we can certainly try. It's really difficult because you just got like a number of individuals around the world just in groups, haven't you? Which is amazing because like they're sort of, they self-help those groups because it's the people that are in them that help people in them, isn't it? So they are really good. But yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand Adrian, like Australia, that side.
Yeah.
But it just, I mean, I have to like go through 5 groups every each day when I'm going, and it just seems like a lot.
It does. I know. I think Margaret was asking me about it in the summer actually, and I think it needs another conversation with like the English group at least, just to see if we can merge that, because that's probably like the other biggest one.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I will try again.
Don't mean to keep giving you all this work.
No, not at all. No, it's something that comes up every year, isn't it? I know Ron's probably mentioned it previously, Margaret definitely, and Shirley's been part of that other group over the years as well. So yes, I will definitely get in touch with them again, because I know they're talking about events and stuff next year, and it'd just be really good to just bring all that together. Like there's no reason we need to do separate things, is there?
Yeah. And I know you've been really busy this week, but have you had a chance to go back to the council?
Oh, they were stuffed. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Yes. So they sent me a grant application form.
Wow.
Yeah, I talked to Andy Pearce at Lower Sutton Council. He was really lovely, really wonderful. Gave me a lot of advice to fill out the form, and I submitted the form this week, and it's been put on the agenda for next week.
So I mean, if that goes through, that could be a massive form of like donations to the charity if each council could do the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So they said their maximum funding was like £2,000, but when I spoke to him, he said, tell us what you need.
Yeah, he said
do what we can.
Yeah, he said they have gone up to like 6,000.
Yeah,
depending on what they've got left in the pot. So
yeah, so I put on like all our costs basically for register and well-being and everything, and asked for, you know, help towards all of it. So fingers crossed. I think he's very open to it, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So hopefully that could be a way to get money from other councils.
Yeah, so Trudy bumped into her local councillor, and he said to apply for like the local funding pot and not be put off by the fact that, you know, there's probably only a couple of people in the area that they would support. Obviously not every council is as supportive as that when it's only a couple of people helping, but we're thinking if we get this one through, then we could put an ask out to everyone for, you know, what's your local council, we'll go to them and do the same across the country and see if we can get some support that way. Because when I looked, actually, Trudy, I didn't mention this, on the database, there are 2 other people in Lowestoft on the database.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously, I can't share who they are.
Wow, won't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point you'll come across each other.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we shall see how that one goes.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or comments on like the vision and goals?
Be nice to meet up with everyone.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, Daniel. We've missed you. We've been doing our Zooms, and we've not seen you and your mum for a few months.
And I've been a little bit busy, stuff, college and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, we try to get on them as many times as we can.
Yeah. Well, good to see you. I was talking to Gene in America this week, and he's going to start doing some Zooms again through the American group too. So be plenty of opportunity to talk over the next few months. At least.
Yeah, he's got one next Friday, hasn't he? He wants to do.
Yeah, which is good. So that's all from me then on that. Angel, did you want to sort of round that up in any way?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sam. So obviously everything Sam has been doing is amazing. And but we wanted to just, like, as Sam has been saying about the resources and all that kind of thing, I just wanted to make sure that everyone, and hopefully people watch this back, besides just the nine of us. So I just wanted to make sure that the community understood that Sam's job has been funded full-time this year, which is what has allowed her to do all of these great, wonderful things with everyone's help. But we do not have the funding past February, right, Sam? To have it full-time. And as much as Sam loves PIP, she also has to feed her family and things like that. So what Sam and I have discussed is that she's graciously willing to work just one day a week because we have the funding that we could say, okay, we could do it at least one day a week again, but most people wouldn't be able to do that. They'd have to go find a full-time job. So even that by itself is really nice of Sam, because what she's planning to do is find contract work or other small things in the meantime, with the hopes that we can fund her position again, full-time, or maybe we can get the funds before February and she won't have to reduce her hours at all. But because Sam does like way more than the hours that she's paid already. And I have no doubt that she will do way more than one day a week. But the problem is if she does get other work, which she has to do again to feed her family, then there will only be a limited time that she can do. And the reality is if she goes to one day a week, that's really just going to be maintaining what we already have that we're doing and looking for grants. So one thing is if she goes to one day a week, we absolutely have to rely more on volunteers for fundraising, which again, Robbie is doing, and a lot of people are stepping up. So that's great. So, and we've talked about that. But grants, it's harder to do as volunteers unless you know someone who wants to do that. In fact, that will be fantastic. But if a volunteer doesn't do it, then that is a lot of Sam's time. The one day a week is actually looking for grants. And then in addition will be the admin for the register and, keeping the well-being things turning over and stuff like that. So we just wanted to make everyone aware that PIP-UK will not stop because we've committed that Sam will at least do one day a week and we have volunteers, but it will slow down significantly. So because it just has to. So that's kind of like an appeal to say, which I know everyone is doing what they can do already. And I know it's a difficult time, but if there's something you haven't thought about or something that you think that you could do, or even just volunteer, forget fundraising and grants, because if Sam goes down one day a week, then we're going to need, more volunteers to keep a lot of the things going that are happening. So yeah, we just really we didn't want to start the meeting with this doom and gloom, but we wanted to make sure that we really emphasized that all of these great things, the pace will slow down. They're still on the roadmap. They're still like in the pipeline. Sam has said to me that, Poland syndrome support is like her life, that's what she wants to do. Like she's not going to stop ever, even if she doesn't have any funding. But realistically, she will have to slow way down. So we just wanted to put that out there and make everyone aware of it and get the message across to the people beyond just this 9 minutes or 9 people somehow that's what's going to happen. And but hopefully it doesn't. I mean, we still have a month, right, Sam, that we can get, because even if the money doesn't come in the month, if it's committed, we do have some money in the bank, but we have to save that money for the register and for some other things that we've already committed to. So if we, for example, know that we're going to get X amount in like March or April, then Sam could keep working full time, because we can use the other money to pay her. We just have to replace it, if that makes sense. So, so yeah, so I don't want to be like a don't want to be like all negative, but we just also wanted to make sure that people knew the reality is that after about next month, right, Sam, you won't be working full time. Yeah. So, and again, even our vision, Sam's vision even has always been that she doesn't want to work full time forever anyway. Like, we don't think this needs someone working full time forever, but it needs someone working full time long enough to get all these things self-sustaining. And so that we do have trained volunteers and trained, but that takes Sam or someone else to create the training and create the program and create the infrastructure to do that. So we just want to find funding so that Sam can work as many hours as she can over the next, 5 years or so, and then reevaluate, if hopefully, as Sam said to me before, she can put herself out of business. If we make the charity big enough and self-sustaining enough, then that's different, but we're not to that place right now. So that's all I want to say. Thank you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate everything Sam's done. I don't think you realise the amount of work Sam actually does. But every time I've needed to talk to someone, Sam's been the first one there. So I do appreciate that.
That won't ever change.
yeah, and I think that's the thing, that won't ever change. So what people, because Sam will always help people, but then, that's why I wanted to find funding so that Sam can work more, because I think if she has to get another job, then it's a lot, the volunteer work that she will do on top of another full-time job. So taking care of Sam the way she's taking care of the community is something that I hope that we can do. And the reality is, it's not like she's not taking tons of money to work for us. So even a couple £1,000s a month of fundraising, and that then she can keep working full time. So it isn't like a couple, 4 book sales or whatever is another month of, so it's not like, it isn't like we need, £50,000 to keep Sam working. We just need a steady stream of smaller amounts would even work. Is right. Is that fair, Sam?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Answer.
I've noticed on one of the American Facebook PS groups, they have merchandise, and some of it's horrible, or I think is horrible. There's one that says, I've got Poland syndrome, what's your superpower? That kind of thing, which just feels, Trudy's face sums it up. What I was thinking about, mugs and little things that we could sell through the website with just the Poland syndrome logo on. And I'm happy to look at that and get some costings together.
About like pin badges, maybe?
Yeah. But not.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Shirley. I think that's really easy. If the only thing is if the website then has the capacity to even do that, because that's one thing Sam was talking about the website. But I think that's a great idea. So I think even if nothing else, we can make an Etsy page and link it to the website. It's whether the website has the capability of having a store on it, and that kind of thing. But if it doesn't, then I think that's great. We could make an Etsy page or something like that, maybe, and link it to it or something. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
I'm not going to volunteer for many things because I'm up for election in May, but I can source things for that and then come back to everyone with this is what I found, and sort out an Etsy page, because that's not difficult.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's the reality. That's why I was saying, I hope we can get this message out beyond the 9 people here, because obviously all 9 of us can't do everything. So if all of us are doing a little bit, we just need more people to do a little bit, and like I said, for Sam to have the hours to help train all the people to do a little bit, so that's a kind of like chicken or an egg thing kind of. So yeah, but thank you, Shirley, for volunteering for that. I think that would be great start. Yeah. And I think the picnic too has potential for that kind of thing as well. If you find a vendor that makes that, if we get mugs to say that, if we also brand somehow this Poland Syndrome Awareness Day kind of thing that we can sell on that day specifically, people will buy event kind of things too, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to like volunteer, but I'm just not technically. It takes me a while, as Sam knows, me trying to do the register. So.
And honestly, even just participating in this event is helpful, like, because to get fundraising and to get grants, we need to show like participation. So the more things that you participate in and the more things, which you do, Trudy, all the time. So that's helpful, because when Sam makes these cases to the council or whoever she's making them to, you know, it's engagement that helps us as well. So don't ever think that that's not doing something, because it is. So showing up to things and telling people about them and being engaged in the community, that 100% helps the grant applications and the getting the word out and stuff like that. So that's really important, I think. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And like you say, the easy fundraising and the Amazon Smile and things, like, you know, Trudy, you've been
told all my friends about it.
You've been amazing at sharing that. So, and that in the last month, that really did pick up. I think we got 20 new people like signed up to Easy Fundraising. So that definitely will start to add up, because I think maybe last year we got like £15 throughout the whole year, and then in December we got £15 and maybe more, 20 maybe. So if that continues with that many people on it, then, you know, that becomes then like a really good extra source of income, isn't it? And I am investigating all other sorts of incomes, like sponsorships and you know, corporate companies sponsoring the clinics and things like that. So I'm exploring absolutely every avenue I possibly can to bring us some more funding in. Shirley.
I'm a Patreon, that's the right word, of a website called Less Stuff, and they have an Amazon link on their page that if you click through to Amazon on that link, they get I've forgotten the word, sorry, my mind's gone completely blank. They get, it's not like commission, they get affiliate money, so like Amazon Smile, but it's a way of directing anybody to who wants to buy something off Amazon. If you click this link, it costs the same for you, but Amazon give us a percentage. And so I currently click, that's where my Amazon link is set up on my iPad, so that every Amazon purchase I make, Less Stuff gets a percentage of that. And it's just I see, sorry, brain's gone completely. It's an icon on the site that you just click on and it takes you straight to Amazon, to Less Stuff's page.
Yeah,
that's different to Amazon Smile, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I found that with the Amazon Smile, it didn't work on an iPad. You had to use your phone for it to work.
Right.
A little bit finicky, isn't it? The Amazon Smile, a little bit. But yeah, if you send me that website address, Shirley, and I'll have a look at it and see if I can get that added on. It's a really good idea.
And we could also set up a Patreon where people can donate a set amount every month, and you can donate £1 a month. I think Less Stuff gets £3 a month off me, which is the price of a coffee in a coffee shop. Very cheap coffee in a coffee shop that most people, no, lots of people wouldn't really notice. So maybe I'll have a look at that as well.
Yeah, that sounds worthwhile too. Thank you. Okay, we are not going to end on doom and gloom. Let's have a look at the register and see what we've achieved this week on it, and have a little look through it to share with you, because when people start entering their data, it fills out this dashboard, and it's a little basic, but it's good. It's a start. So here it is. When you log in and when you register and log in, you will also see this, minus the little admin thing in the top corner. So you can see we've got 52 people this week in our first 5 days, which is amazing. The majority of which are female, and the majority of which are in the UK. So 43 people in the UK, 1 in Germany, looks like 1 in Northern Ireland there. And then if we scroll across to the States, oh, the number, oh, there we go. Yeah, 4 in America, 1 in Canada. And then if we go this way down, oh, something weird's happening with my map. Oh, I think this is just because I'm screen sharing. This hasn't happened before. Trying to get to Australia. There we go. A sideways Australia. Let me put that the right way. And 2 people in Australia. So you can see where in the world everyone is that is registered, which is lovely to see. And it's nice that as a UK charity, we're bigging up the UK in the first week. I like that. I like that a lot.
Did you say you've yet to share that on the other Poland sites?
Yes, I've not gone into the other groups with it yet, but plan to next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can before that. I'm not fussed about keeping it quiet now. It was just purely to handle the traffic in the first week and make sure it was all working. So yeah, next week.
Map for the Poland Syndrome.
What's that, Daniel?
Is that the map of the Poland people?
Yeah. So this is the register, Daniel. So this is something we've been working on for a while, and it was launched last week. So you can go in and do this now. I'll send you the link.
Thanks. That's good.
Yeah,
so it's got more male, female and male.
At the moment, yeah, because we've only got 52 people in it at the moment. It's more female than male at the moment. But you go in, Daniel, and answer some surveys about your Poland syndrome and about your life. And then it comes up in this data when we've all done it. So George did it this week as well. Me and George sat down and did it. And Trudy and Ron have done it too. And, you know, loads of people across the group. So, but I can help you do it as well. So I'll send you the link and see how you get on.
And Sam and I were talking about the conversation because when I was doing it, I had to call my mom and ask things, obviously, because I was a child, and I had really good conversations with her about things that, you know, we usually just don't talk about this. And then Sam was saying the same, that you talked to George about things. So, you know, my mom said to me, I was only 19 when I had you, and I didn't know anything, you know. And I mean, we just had really, and I started thinking about, wow, like a 19-year-old mom with a baby with a birth defect and stuff. So I think for me, it was a really nice thing just to do and think about these things that I don't usually think about my Poland syndrome much other than through PIP, you know. So
I had to go back to my mum as well for some of the questions because I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's definitely prompted some really interesting conversations this week, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, me and George were sat at the table, and we were looking at his shoulders, and he had his arms side by side and stuff, and just, you know, making sure that we'd noted down everything. And funnily enough, he didn't think his ear was like a different size. I know a few people have mentioned the ear, but he didn't think so. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see from this, we're showing like the top first symptoms that people are reporting. So the most reported one at the moment is the underdevelopment of the major pectoral muscle on the right hand side, and 15 people have reported that. So that's really interesting because that currently backs up the data that's out there that, you know, right side is more common, but then there's some left-sided symptoms coming up quite often as well. So hard to tell at the moment with the numbers, but I think it'll develop more as we get more people into it. Not as many people hand affected registered at the moment, which is kind of interesting in itself, I think, isn't it?
I think that one is mine. For the right hand.
The right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, probably George is in that small left hand there as well. which is just interesting to see how that develops. I'm hoping that I will get a fuller report of all the data in the next couple of weeks from Pulse. I asked them for it last night, so as the weeks go on, we'll be able to share sort of even more. And interesting to see the ages there on the left hand side as well at the moment, so still primarily like under 30 really, isn't it? So I think that says more about how we've launched it this week and where we've marketed it than anything else, to be honest. So I think
people who are comfortable with technology. Sam, like when it said, you know, the one survey was like about how you're feeling right now, and then it said it was going to send the survey out every few months or something, like a well-being survey. And then, which was interesting to me, I didn't realize that before. So then is that information go to you, or is that going to be like for medical practitioners to kind of track it over time, or what or is that for like potential research?
So it's for potential research, so we'll get a report on it, and then the idea is that this data will be put in front of our scientific advisory board, and they will think about what kind of research they want to do. It might be that Pulse will look at the data and see that there's a potential research path and talk to us about that as well. So it'll be used in a variety of ways.
So how often are those well-being surveys going to be sent?
Every 6 months is the plan.
And so that's part of the current funding level. That's not a new one, like you said about the there's
no extra money required to do that.
So they'll just send it and say, just to track if your symptoms have gotten worse or better or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the things that start to cost money are if we want a new survey, if we wanted new bespoke questions added to additional surveys, then it starts to cost. Not huge amounts if it's new surveys, and it's a survey that's been validated already by medical practitioners, then it's not massively expensive to get it added in. It's like between 2,000 to 5,000, depending on how much work it takes, basically. So that's where we're at with the register. So the plan for next week is that Rare Revolution magazine and Pulse Info will start sharing more on their social media, so we get more reach that way, and then also we'll do it across the Poland syndrome groups next week. So I'm meeting with Anna that does our social media on Monday, so we'll make a plan for like how and when we're going to share that across the groups, and then, you know, I'll be reaching out to you guys that have already done it to sort of you to go and encourage people as well. If we stall at that point and people aren't coming to it, then I think we'll need that, you know, championing from the rest of the community to come and get involved. But hopefully they will. We'll see how it goes next week. I'll keep you posted anyway. I'm getting terribly like geeky and excited about checking the numbers. So.
Well, honestly, I think 52 for just a few days is halfway to your goal. It's amazing. I think it would be at 100, honestly, before the end of the month, I think.
Easy. I think once it goes to other groups as well, and I think once Adrian gets hold of it in Australia, because he's really pushing over there, isn't he? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've not spoken to Adrian this week. He's a bit quiet online, so hopefully next week he'll pick it up as well and get a few more people signed up.
Who's Adrian?
Adrian, you've probably not met him yet, Daniel. He's a guy in Australia. He's been on the Zooms like the last part of last year that we missed you on, and he's doing some work in Australia. He started this thing called Poland Syndrome Mighties, which is like a sort of online coaching company. Yeah, that he started. I'm sure you'll get to meet him. He's usually at every Zoom. I have a feeling he's taking some time off social media or something, but I'm sure he'll be back.
his little girl hadn't been well, so I know he was spending some time with her.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure we'll see him soon. Okay, well, that is pretty much all from me for the AGM. I guess it's time to ask for any other business from anyone else. Liz?
No, I haven't really got any other business. I just really want to encourage people to try and do some fundraising, even if you just have a few friends around, have a coffee morning and raise £20. Every penny does help. And also tell your friends about it and ask them. Perhaps I'm going to ask people if they want to do the muddy thing. I mean, I couldn't do it. I'll certainly go and watch and clap when you go over the wall, Sam, but I couldn't take part in something like that. But I know people who might actually enjoy it. I know you like that sort of thing, Sam. I don't know why, but so other people will enjoy it. So I just really want to press that point really to people that I know you don't want to end on a sour note, but we are desperate for money. And also, when Sam and I did the cake and the book sales, it was great fun. We met lots of people, and lots of people come up and talk to us and learn about Poland syndrome. So it's a really good thing to do, as long as it doesn't rain. But yeah, it's really good fun. So get baking. Sorry about that background noise.
Thanks, Liz. Shirley, anything else from you? No, thank you. Trudy?
No, I think I've interjected enough.
Oh, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Daniel, you got anything you wanted to add or talk about?
No, it's just nice seeing you all. Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But I've took some photos on my phone, and hopefully I'll be in touch by email or text message. But no, just hopefully you can get the raising. If you need any help, I'm here if I can help out in any way. So yeah, just crack on with it then, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel, for all your support. Appreciate it. Ron, any other business from you?
Not really, only to say thank you for what you've done and your patience, particularly with me filling out the register, which I found a little difficult. But anyway, good luck with the fundraising.
Thank you, appreciate it. And we won't call on Kira because I know she's got a sore throat, so we'll leave her to it. I'm just going to say goodbye for the recording. So thank you all for joining us.